Hey y'all, come on into my kitchen and have a seat at my table. When you get in your chair, go ahead and hit share because sharing is really caring. So if you haven't already, make sure you go to my YouTube channel, Lil Trey's Kitchen. Click, comment, subscribe, and make sure you click the notification button so that you can be notified when I upload new videos. Today we're going to do salmon patties. Some people call them salmon croquettes. I call them salmon patties because they're actual patties and not balls like croquette balls. You remember playing croquette back in the day. So hence the reason why they're called salmon croquettes. But we're going to do salmon patties, make them flat. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. We're going to, right here in this bowl, I've already started breaking up my salmon. This is just a can of about a little over 14 ounce can of salmon. I'm going to go ahead and just show you what my mom used to do. She just took this little skin part off. Just rub your fingers across it. It comes off really, really easy. Just take that right on off. Also, when you open it up, you'll see this whole trail of bones. Really simple. Just rub your finger down it and just pull them out. Can you eat them? Yes, but they're kind of crunchy. So it doesn't add flavor to what we're doing. So it's just easier just to take it out, okay? So now that we've done that, we're going to add some additional stuff. Make sure I get all this little skin out because it's not really tasty. Again, it doesn't add or take anything away. We're just gonna take it out. I'm gonna use a 1/4 cup of flour and cornmeal, garlic powder, black pepper, salt, and I have an egg. And I like to have some onion in it. I've chopped up half an onion. We're probably going to just use half of this. So I'm just going to go ahead and put a little half in there. We're going to get our egg. We're going to break our egg up in there too. And then I also have a secret ingredient. I know you guys see this mayonnaise on this table, on this countertop, saying, what's she going to do with that mayonnaise? Yes, we're going to add just a little bit of mayonnaise to it too. I know it's not traditional. I'm a city girl with country roots. This is how I'm doing this, and I promise you it's going to be okay. So let's go ahead and get our cornmeal in. And this just adds a little something, a little texture to our salmon patties. We're going to season our salmon patties with a little garlic powder and some black pepper. And this is all just to taste. You add it to how you like to have it taste. I'm not going to pour the salt directly in. I'm going to actually measure out about a little shy of a teaspoon. Just a little shy of a teaspoon. And it's because the salmon already has some salt in it because it is a canned salmon. So you just want to be a little careful. When you have your salmon, right, you want to make sure that you drain the juice off. I don't drain all of my juice out. That's just because I like to have some kind of texture in it as well. I know you're saying, Trey, that looks mighty dry. I know, right? But it's going to be okay. You know why it's going to be okay? Because we're going to add a little mayonnaise to it. It's going to be all right. So now watch. We're going to add about 3 tablespoons of mayonnaise. Oh, it would work if I take the top off the mayonnaise. So, look, we're in the kitchen. This is what happens. About 3 tablespoons. That's 1, that's 2. Okay, so I guesstimate. I don't really use measurements. This is what I do. So we're going to mix this up, get it nice and stirred in. And then what we're going to do is we're going to just fry a little piece. And we're going to see if we like the flavor before we start frying them all up. Which means you can add a little bit of more salt, more pepper, more what's that stuff called? Garlic powder. You know what I just realized, y'all? That instead of adding a 1/4, that I added actual half. So I got another can. We're just gonna open this can up, and it's okay. This is how wonders are made. I'm gonna pour this little juice off, and we're gonna break this right on up into our bowl that we've already started mixing. But again, now you get an actual chance to really see me flake this up. You're just gonna take this little skin right on off. See how easy that just comes off? You just wipe it off and it just comes right on off. At the same time, you're looking for bones. You wanna make sure you're taking these bones out because nobody really wants to eat bones. I remember growing up, my mom would do the same process, and sometimes she'd miss a bone or two or the whole row right here. And she'd be like, you fine, just eat it. It's something iron or something she said. But it was so funny. My mom loved making salmon patties. This was what she would call our struggle meal. If you guys are familiar with struggle meals, this is what my mom would call struggle meal. She'd make this struggle meal for breakfast. We'd have it for dinner. You'd actually have it for lunch if there was some left over from breakfast. But we were a family of 5, so we inhaled this kind of stuff all the time. So it wasn't very much left when we were growing up, because Mama made the best biscuits, and so we just inhaled the food as she made it. So now I'm just gonna go in here and just get this mixed up really good. Just like that. I'm going to add 1 more egg because we have 2 cans. So it's one egg for every can. So keep that in mind. So we're going to go ahead and add this other egg. Go from here. And I probably will need to add some more salt and some pepper because we did add the 1 more can. But let's just see. And how do you tell if you need more? Well, we're going to make a little tiny patty and we're going to fry it up in our skillet. I have my cast iron skillet with some oil already warming up right behind me. And we're going to throw this into the skillet and we're going to taste it and see if we like it. And if we like it, we'll make the rest of them. If we don't, then we'll add more seasoning. Now, you could add obey to this. This would be really good. Instead of doing just the salt and the pepper and the garlic powder, you can add just a little obey to it and call it a meal. I'm going to go ahead and drop this in just so that I can see. See, my skillet is nice and warm. My oil is nice and hot. I'm going to see how we like that. I'm going to get that cooked up really fast. If Mama made this with, if she did her salmon patties with, for breakfast, we had eggs, homemade biscuits, and grits. And the eggs always had cheese, and so we would do eggs, grits, and biscuits with these salmon patties. I always just skip the eggs and the grits. Well, I put my eggs and grits on the side, but I always enjoyed biscuits with my salmon, and that's what we're going to be doing today. We're going to add, we're going to do biscuits with our salmon. I'm going to go ahead and flip this really fast, and let me show you guys. Oh, look how pretty that is. We're going to taste that up, see if we need more seasoning to it. Like I said, I like salmon and biscuits and gravy. So that's what we're going to be doing today. We're going to be doing the salmon biscuits. And if you don't already have my biscuit recipe, go to my YouTube channel, Lil Trey's Kitchen, and it's actually there. Whole biscuit recipe. Get that. Make these biscuits. You can actually do this for dinner. Oh, you know what? I wanted to say this. Let's end this battle right now. Let's put a fork in the battle. Sugar does not belong in grits. I said it. Fight me for it. No true Southerner would ever put sugar in their grits. This is actually done. We're going to pull it out and let's taste it up. Let's taste and see if we like where the flavor is. And if we like where the flavor is, then we'll proceed. If not, well, we'll change it up. Look at the inside of that, y'all. Looks really good. Really good. Let's go. Actually, I like the flavor. So, we're going to go ahead. We're going to proceed with our salmon patties. Just take a heaping of it, put it in your hand. Now, again, you got to know that you got to want to play with your food. You want to make nice little patties. Now, if you were going to go ahead and do salmon croquettes, you would just make a ball in your hand. But we're going to do these nice little salmon patties. And you just gently place them into the oil and keep going. This was my mom's favorite struggle meal. That, and she also would enjoy doing fried livers and gizzards with rice and gravy. Yum. She would also take our gizzards and she would make like a stew, like an onions and gizzard stew kind of thing, and we would have it with rice. But if we had salmon patties for dinner, it was rice and sweet peas. It's crazy. I remember making salmon patties for my husband, who is actually from LA, and I made them for breakfast, and he was like, "What are you doing? This is a dinner meal." Bless his heart. He is from the West Coast, but we love him anyhow, right? So we're gonna get these in, and I'm gonna rinse off my hands, clean up a little bit while those are cooking. Now, I did go ahead and make some biscuits, and they are currently in the oven, and I'll pull those out shortly. But you just want these to cook long enough to get a nice little golden brown color on them. So how long? I would say about 4 to 5 minutes per side. I think we have a question. No, okay. No, my son raised his hand. I don't know. I thought he had a question. So we're gonna cook these for a few moments. You'll start seeing, you want enough oil in your skillet to come up to the side of the salmon patties. Now listen, get yourself a good cast iron skillet. There's nothing like it. I know the last time I cooked in the skillet, someone asked me, where do you find it? A hardware store is the best place to find a cast iron skillet. You can probably go to Walmart in the camping section. I think they're there. I think they're Lodge. I think it's called Lodge. But if you can't find them there, go to a nice little hardware store. Ace Hardware, Andy Hardware, whatever, but get you a cast iron skillet. The best thing going. They're so easy and they're so versatile. Someone else also asked me, how do you clean it? Well, when it's time to clean your cast iron skillet, all you need is to pour the fat out, that whatever is in it, pour it out. Add some coarse salt, not table salt. You need some coarse kosher salt, and just sprinkle it in the bottom and scrub it. Don't really submerge it, because if you submerge it, what will actually happen is it starts to rust, and you're taking off of all the years and years of cooking and seasoning fat on it. So look, I've turned this over, and this is what it looks like on the other side. So we're just going to keep going. Gonna turn these right on over, just like that. And you want to have enough oil in your pan so that you're not having to re-oil your pan. So just make sure it comes up enough to cover. Look, at nice and golden. While these are cooking up, I'm going to go ahead and pull out my biscuits out of the oven so you guys can actually see my biscuits. Let me show y'all this. Yes, for the biscuits. Look at that. Yes, for the biscuits. I'm going to get my plate and start my plate going here while those are finishing up. Now, when these are ready to come out of the oil, you want to make sure you put them on a lined sheet, just so that the grease can just drain a little bit. So that's what I have there. Y'all, I'm waiting on these biscuits. Nothing like a nice little biscuit, y'all. So let's see if I can get one of these biscuits out. I'm a corner girl. I like, and I put these in my grandmother's pan only because, I don't know, because I wanted to. No particular reason, but I'm trying to get this out, but this pan is hot. Let's try. All these kind of stuck to the side. Okay, it's coming. You know what? Let me stop trying to be cute and use the spatula. There we go. Hot. Hot biscuit. Look at this. Y'all see this? Look at this. Biscuit looks to die for. And our salmon patties are now ready. I'm going to just take them out and set them to the side. Let them drain a little bit. Get some of that oil off. And then we can fry up some more. I like thick salmon patties. You can make them thick or thin. It's really your discretion. But that's how I like to eat my salmon patties. So I got my biscuit right here. I'm going to turn this off and I'll cook some more salmon patties in a second. But I'm going to go ahead and cut open my biscuit and let you see the inside of that smoking hot biscuit. Now, we're just going to take one of our nice little salmon patties. And we're just going to lay it on the plate. Just like that, y'all. And then you can take either some syrup or some butter, some jelly, and I want to eat this, hold on, because I just like biscuits. We're just going to put a little butter, a little syrup right there, and we're going to go for broke. Do y'all care if I use my hands? Because that's what our city girl in me, country girl in me says. Oh my goodness. These biscuits, you guys have got to try it. But I'm going to go ahead and show you what my mom would have done. She would have tore off the biscuit just like that. Pinched off a little bit of the salmon and ate. So good. We have a question?
How do you ensure when the patties are thick that they cook all the way through? Mm-hmm. That has always been my issue.
And who's that question from?
Dee Dee Nesbitt.
Hey, Dee Dee. Hey, girl. Well, you just want to make sure that you cook the salmon. You're not trying to dry the salmon patties out. You're just trying to cook them maybe 5 minutes on each side. You want to keep the heat on a nice low, medium to low temperature so that the outside doesn't burn. And that's the reason why you want to make sure the oil is at least halfway up the patty so that when you're on that one side, that half of the patty is cooking. And by the time it turns golden brown, you flip it over to the undone side and the rest of it will cook. It's about a 10-minute process from start to finish by the time you put it in there, 5 minutes on each side. And when it's nice and done, if you notice, let me show you. I know, this is my nice little salmon patty. Look at this. You don't want it to be, you want it to still be wet on the inside. You don't want a totally dry out piece of salmon. That's not good at all. That's perfect. Well, simple and easy salmon patties is what's for our brunch and dinner today. I don't know. I may go in and make some rice and some sweet peas for nostalgia's sake for later on. Maybe not. We're probably going to eat these biscuits and salmon just the way they are. I pulled some turnip greens out of the garden the other day. I got them in a pot. So that might be as a side item with some tomatoes. Who knows? But that's what we are having today. Salmon patties and biscuits. And it's just it's just from my mom. as a remembrance for my mom, whose birthday is actually coming up. So I wanted to do this because this was one of her favorite meals, and so it kind of reminds me of her. So I hope you try these salmon patties. If you do, tag me, let me see it. I'd love to see your version of this. Reach out to me, you can message me. I'll be happy to walk you through the process again. This will go up on my YouTube channel, Lil Trey's Kitchen. Make sure you go to it, subscribe, like, comment, and share. Make sure you click the notification button so that you know that I've uploaded new videos. And until next time, I love you guys, and big hugs and tight squeezes. Till next time, bye-bye.